Welcome to SYK Studios presents Between Two Screens, but actually 3 screens today. We went above and beyond. So I am SYK partner and fiduciary litigator Victoria Blachly, and with me today is SYK partner and estate planning attorney Anastasia Yu Meisner. Hello.
Hi.
And another one of our SYK attorneys, Darlene Pasieczny. Hello, Darlene.
Hello.
Darlene is a fierce and capable litigator, like myself, handling trust and fiduciary litigation matters. And she also handles securities litigation. So if your grandma gets horrible investment advice from a shady broker, Darlene's the one for you to call. But our topic today is estate planning. So let's start with Stacy. Stacy's been an estate planner for what, 22 years now?
Wow, you're making me older than I am. My bar number is that I'm 19 years doing estate planning specifically.
Yes. And you also do work as a pro tem judge in the probate court for Washington County, right?
Yes, that's very fun. Mm-hmm.
And do you enjoy your work as an estate planner?
I love it. I think probably the general public thinks it must be extremely boring, but I do like to meet new people and explain estate planning, and I don't know. I guess I like the minutia of it.
Excellent. Well, somebody needs to have the big brain to work it all out. So my question to you is, and I'm sure our listeners will want to know, do you think everybody needs an estate plan?
Some form of estate plan, yes. Even if people have low assets or they're young and they don't have children or a house, some sort of an estate plan is important. An estate plan isn't just about where does your stuff go, but it's also about what happens if you can't make decisions for yourself. So what happens if you have a traumatic brain injury or you are in an accident and you can't pay your bills, or who gets to make medical decisions for you if you can't do it yourself. In those cases, everybody could use an estate plan. And then, of course, people who have stuff and children and whatnot or concerned about taxes, they really need an estate plan too.
Great. So with these dangerous COVID times that we're in, do you think it's even more important right now?
Absolutely. I have folks coming to me who have been putting off their estate planning and realize they shouldn't do that anymore. I have other folks who have loved ones in care facilities, and it's been very hard to visit them and get business done, like their banking, and they didn't have paperwork to make it easier for them to do that. So absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Planning is important.
Yes, planning is better than dealing with the emergency.
So let's shift to Darlene as one of SYK's fiduciary litigators. So I want to ask your input on this. What are the kinds of things that might happen if you don't take matters into your own hands and plan?
Well, if you live in denial and think that you'll live forever, that's fine. But it could also mean a very expensive fight or just figuring out what your desires are at the end of the day if the litigators have to get involved and the courts have to get involved. And even specifically, like Stacy was just talking about for capacity, if you become incapacitated and don't have your estate documents in order and the courts get involved, and that's your private, personal information, medical information, financial information that becomes part of the public record. So it's really important to have that advanced planning.
So what if you just decide, maybe I'll save a few bucks, do an internet search and find some kind of fancy schmancy trust to do myself? What might happen with that plan?
Yeah, and there are a lot of websites out there. And there's good sources on the internet, but it's a big danger zone because there's a lot of opportunity for confusion, mistakes, if people try to do their own estate planning, if they try to amend their own estate planning, there can be conflicting language, contradictory information, and then the courts have to get involved to try to decipher what this mess is. So that can cost a whole lot of money at the end of the day. Again, when the litigators get involved, just trying to figure out what this person really wanted. And all of that could have been avoided by having a professional estate planner handling the documentation in the first place.
So, Stacey, I want to ask you a question about fiduciaries. So people like trustees of a trust or the personal representative for an estate. Some people call them the executor. they're put in a special legal position of trust, and they have to manage money.
Right.
So what kind of advice do you generally give your clients about picking a fiduciary?
They, in general, I want people to think deeply about it. They shouldn't just knee-jerk say, well, I'm going to have my kid do it. It might not be the best thing to pick a child. The factors to consider are, is that person responsible? Do they have the emotional sophistication to handle, let's say, medical decisions? That can be very traumatic for a child to do that. Are they organized? And is a family member even an appropriate fiduciary? Maybe a private fiduciary, someone who is a third party who doesn't have the same stakes in how things are decided in terms of pitting one child against another. Sometimes having that third party neutral is really a benefit.
And do you work with professional fiduciaries that you can recommend to clients if they're looking for someone like that?
Absolutely, all the time. They are just as unique as estate planners, and so I'm looking for the right fit. And the more I know about my client, the better I can recommend several options for them. Mm-hmm.
So Darlene, as a litigator, what kind of things do you run into if maybe parents don't follow their estate planner's advice and put the bickering siblings in charge as co-trustees?
Even if they're not bickering, this is like red flag danger zone with siblings as co-trustees. And just think about the difficulties of the situation, those family relationships. You just don't know how they're going to go, and it's not going to make the relationship better for having siblings be co-trustees. That's for sure. There are a lot of excellent qualified professional fiduciaries in Oregon, in Washington, that our firm works with closely. And it might cost a little bit upfront to hire someone for that role, but it definitely costs less than the legal fees for litigators to get involved when co-trustees are fighting with each other, or beneficiaries are frustrated because the co-trustees can't get along, can't make decisions, and everyone lawyers up. So having a little bit of investment in a qualified, good professional fiduciary can avoid so much heartache and so much cost down the road.
So it sounds like SYK is ready for pretty much most any problem that people are dealing with.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You're right.
All right, bring it on. We're here for you. Thank you for joining us for this edition of SYK Studio Presents Between 2-3 Screens, and have a great day. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.